Dear students, good morning. Myself Dr. Ganesh Prasad Behera, Founder Chairman, UTKAL International School, Chaudhar, Cuttack. Students, today we will have to discuss about the chapter of class 10 on Civics, that is last chapter, and the chapter name is Outcomes of Democracy. Dear students, you know different types of rulers across the world: monarchy system, single party system, multi-party system. So on democracy, it is basically ruled by a multi-party system, and a democratic or an elected form of government is better than any other form of government. This is because a democratic government ensures equality among citizens. Dear students, when the government is elected by the citizens, it is known as a democratic government, and on a democratic government, every party has equal share. People, political party, judiciary, everybody has some certain rule for the government. So in this democratic government, it is a very useful and very profitable for the peoples, for the nations, and a democratic government ensures that equality among the citizens, that all the citizens are equal. There is no difference between the peoples, between the citizens. All peoples are equal on the front of government, on the front of law, and everywhere. And another outcomes of democracy is dignity of every individual. Respect, dignity, power, share on the government has equal, and the dignity always maintained on a democratic government. And the third one is improvement in the quality of decision making. Improvement in the quality of decision making. If people are equal power, equal participation on the government, then what happened, dear students? Improvement in the quality of decision making, and several alternatives to resolve conflicts. On a democratic government, there are several alternatives to resolve the conflicts. If there is any conflict, then it will be resolved easily on a democratic government. And correction of mistakes by previously. Dear students, you know that democratic government is elected by the peoples, by the citizens. So if one government cannot do the good work for the citizens, for the nation, then people have power on their own hand that they can change the government, and if the government is changed, then the correction, the mistakes made by the previous government is corrected by the newly government. So these are the five main points, that is outcomes of democracy. So first one is equality among citizens, that is the first outcome of democracy, and or the government ensures, a democratic government ensures what? Now first one is equality among citizens, dignity of every individual, improvement in the quality of decision making, several alternatives to resolve conflicts, and corrections of mistakes made previously, which is the main democratic government ensures to the citizen or nation. Dear students, many people argue against following a democratic form of government. Some people are not agree about the democratic governments. It has to be remembered that one democratic country may be different from others. Yes, dear students, a democratic country is obviously different from other type of rulers. Further, democracy is just a form of government where the citizens have to take an advantages of the existing conditions. They are favorable, they take the benefit of the existing conditions. and democracy can achieve economic and political equality without the cooperation of the citizens. It is requirement only the cooperation of the citizens. It is by the people, by for the people. Always democratic government is the favor of the peoples. Okay. So, dear students, a question on now we have discussed about what a democratic government ensures to the citizen or the nations. Dear students, a question will arise on your mind that outcome of a democratic government. That if there is a democratic government, what are the outcomes? What are the benefits for the peoples, for the nations? Okay, dear students, result and outcomes of a democracy, benefits of a democratic country, that, dear students, a democratic government is accountable to the citizens and responsible for the needs and aspiration of the countryman. Always, dear students, it's a very beautiful thing that a democratic government is accountable to whom? To the citizens, to the peoples, and responsible for the needs and aspiration of the countryman. What the country needs, what the country's peoples need, why the country is developed. It is the main aim of the democratic government, because they are accountable to the citizens, to the peoples of the country. And the second one, the outcome of democracy is, dear students, it is an efficient government, efficient, workable government. A democratic government may take time to arrive at certain laws and agreements because it has looked after the needs of every section of the society. They are bonded. They have to rule the every section of the society. They have to watch the weaker section, the developed section, every section they have to watch. And the democratic government take time to arrive at certain laws and agreement. They put some laws for the betterment of the every section of the society. And dear students, main thing, the laws passed, it is not a big issue, but the big issue is laws are implemented after deliberation of negotiations which are accepted by the people. If the democratic government passes a law, then the law will be on the benefit of the people. At a large, unlike or dictatorial government which enacts laws without bothering about its people, where there is a monarchy system, where is a dictatorial government, one man show government. So at that government, they can take decisions bothering about its people without, they are not taking consider, they are always not consider the benefit of the peoples, and they pass the laws but dictatorial. They are doing work without any concern of the people. And dear students, in a democratic government, the working of the government machinery is transparent. Okay, there is a transparent. The citizens should watch, should gain, should learn about the laws which are passed. And it means a citizen can inquire if any decision was taken based on prescribed norms and procedures. Thus, a democratic government follows procedures and is accountable to the people. Do you know there is RTI Act? On RTI Act, we can inquiry, we can guard the decision makings, the law and everything about the government. So it is a transparent, the democratic government is a transparent government compared to the other type of governments. And dear students, another main thing, that in most democratic countries, free and fair elections are held regularly. It is the main thing, and the elections should be free and fair. So in most democratic countries, free and fair elections are held regularly. However, many countries still experience rigging of elections, which is biggest challenge with a democratic country faces. Okay, dear students, it is a necessary need that democratic countries free and fair elections are held to be regular basis. But there is also a challenge that in some countries, but the experience comes that they are rigging, they are rigging, and which is big challenge capturing not a election on a fair basis. So it is a big challenge to the democratic countries. And although, dear students, democratic government may be slow in forming laws, it is also a drawback that where is a democratic country, they have to take the decisions and thinking about all the sectors, all the societies. So in a democratic country, there is a drawback that democratic government may be slow in forming laws and implementing reforms and less efficient on certain occasions. Okay, in certain occasions, we feel that there is certain less efficient and on implementing reforms of the government, and it is the legitimate form of government which is formed by the people themselves, and it is the good betterment that the government is formed by the people, by the themselves. The mandate, the majority taken party is ruled and empowered to govern the government on democratic country. Then, dear students, every country is success on its economic growth. So, if there is any government, the first priority of the government is economic growth of the country. So, dear students, in democracy procedures, good governance, then should we not expect the government to also ensure development? Okay, in democratic government, we cannot assure the development. According to the survey, dictatorial countries have show a slightly higher rate of development in the last 50 years. Dear students, if we compare the democratic country and the dictatorship country last 50 years, we found the dictatorial countries have shown a slightly higher rate of development than the democratic countries. Then, dear students, however, this factor alone can't undermine the importance of the democratic country because of the following reasons. Okay, the factor alone, this is not single factor. We undermine the importance of the democracy because of the following reasons. What are the reasons? Now, economic development, dear students, if we go to the point of economic development depends on certain factors. Economic development, dear students, is depend on the certain factors such as the population of the country. First thing, that if we consider the development, so economic development basically depend the certain factors such as population. If there is more population, it is a very difficult task to maintain the development. And availability of the natural resources. If the country has not availability of natural resources, so how they can develop? And economic trade policies, main things, the policies which is decided by the government, that is known as economic trade policies. And global cooperation, the country, the government, how much they deal globally with other countries. Okay, or it is known as global cooperation. Then, dear students, dictatorial regimes have a little better record in economic terms. Yes, we all accept that where dictatorship of government, it is better record in economic terms only in developing countries. In developing countries, in poor countries, there is hardly any economic growth. Okay, what happened? Now the dictatorship regimes have a little bit record in economic terms only in developing countries. Country is a developing country and there is a dictatorship. Then the economy may be growth, but it is not possible in poor countries. There is hardly any economic growth. In dictatorship in a poor country, so the economic growth is not high as compared to the poor. On the developing countries, how they have developed, it will not compare to the poor countries where dictatorship is there. Then, dear students, in many democratic countries, unsatisfactory growth rate can be attributed more to inequality of the income in the society. Okay, in many democratic countries, it is a challenge that growth rate can be attributed. Every man can equal growth. There should be partial difference in democratic countries. Further, dear students, there is inequality of opportunity in the proper sections of the society. Also, dear students, in the proper section of the society, there is inequality, not equality on every section or every society. Then, dear students, we can conclude that after everything, what are the ending, what are the last point? We are conclude that through democracy is the best form of government. Dear students, you all know that democracy is the best form of government. We all accept it. It has not been able to reduce economic inequality in society, but it is a challenge that the democratic government not reduce the economic inequalities in society. Dear students, sometimes even a government elected mostly by the poor people does not resolve the issue of the poverty in the country. Dear students, if there is a very poor area and the government elected mostly by the poor people does not resolve the issue of poverty of the country, there is some certain barriers, certain problems that they not solve the issues, poverty issues of the country. For example, our nearer country is a Bangladesh, and where 50% of its population lives below the poverty line. So still the government has failed to work for the upliftment of its people. In Bangladesh, dear students, there are 50% people lives below the poverty line, but still the existing government has failed to work for the upliftment of the people. Then, dear students, on everywhere there is a social diversity. So, on a democratic government or outcomes of democracy, it is very important that accommodation of social diversity should be considered. Dear students, a democratic country looks into the needs and aspiration of every section of the society, because the government is elected directly by the people. So people's are some expectations from the government. It is also able to handle social conflicts. Okay, it is a very challenge how to tackle the social conflicts, diversions and differences. Social conflicts, divisions and differences. Three challenges to handle social conflict, divisions and differences. However, dear students, in order to achieve this objective, a democratic government should fulfill the following conditions. But how we consider the democratic government? There are following conditions. Dear students, in a democratic government, the majority should work to close cooperation with the minority. Dear students, it is a big challenge for democratic government. The democratic government should take equal upliftment, equal chance, as well as majority and as well as minority. Okay, and close cooperation between the two things, majority and minority. And dear students, the rule of the majority community should not be taken in the religious or linguistic sense alone. If there is a democratic government and if they are ruling, so they first take the priority that majority community should not be taken in the religious or linguistic sense alone. And another thing is, dear students, the rule of the majority should apply in every decision take and in the formation of the economic policies. It is very careful for a democratic government that the rule of a majority should be applied in every decision taken and in formulation of the economic policies. Thus, every citizen should get an opportunity to become a part of the majority at some point of time. It is a big challenge, that is the beautifulness of the democracy. Then, dear students, we can thus conclude that democracy is the best form of government in sense that it is elected by the people. The main benefit that the democratic government is elected by the people, and it promotes dignity and freedom of an individual. Dear students, it promotes dignity and freedom of an individual. In India, dear students, the constitution does not allow discrimination among people. In India, it is a beautiful thing. Our India is a democratic country, and on our country there is a constitution, and constitution does not allow the discrimination among the people on the basis of religion, caste, gender and section. And also, dear students, a democratic government transforms people from subjects to free citizens. Okay, transform among the citizens. Then, dear students, another important thing, dignity and freedom of the citizens. Dignity and freedom of the citizens. Dear students, democracy stands much superior. Democracy is the much superior to any other form of government in promoting the dignity and freedom of the individuals. On monarchy system and dictatorship government, it is not possible, but in democratic government, it is possible that they promoting the dignity and freedom of the individual. The passion for respect and freedom are the basis of democracy, because there is democracy. Let us take the case of the dignity of the women. Dear students, if we go for dignity of the women, dear students, a long struggle by women have created some sensitivity that respect and equal treatment for women are necessary in a democratic society. Dear students, on a democratic society, you will know, if our women are the 50% populations of our nations. So, on a democratic country, it is the government's priority that the women are struggle the last long for their freedom, and they live individually or freely. The long struggle by women had created some sensitivity that respect and equal treatment. Okay, they need sensitiveness of equal treatment are necessary on a democratic society. And dear students, the same is true of caste inequalities. Okay, here also is a big challenge for democracy. They should care about the caste inequalities. Dear students, democracy in India has strengthened the claims of the disadvantages and discriminations and castes of equal status and equal opportunity. It is a democratic government, it is the priority that they should take equal to all caste and equal to all categories and all societies, all citizens equal opportunity. Dear students, most individuals today believe that their votes make a difference to the way the government, because the democratic government is elected directly by the people to run under their own self-interest. Okay, because people are voting for their government, so they have interest, they need the development. And what happened? Now, democratic examination never gets over. Every time people have expectations, higher expectations on the government. As it passes one test, it produces another test. If democratic government take a good decision, then people need government should take more decisions, more beneficial decisions. So, as people get some benefits of democracy, they ask for more. Okay, they're demanding more and want to make democracy even better. So, dear students, the fact that people are complaining is itself a testimony of the success of a democracy, because if there are peoples have expectations, peoples have inward, so what happened? The peoples are testimony of the success of the democracy. Dear students, this is all about your chapter outcome of democracy. So here we have discussed that democratic government ensures what ensures? Now, equality among citizens, dignity of every individual, improvement in the quality of decision making, several alternatives to resolve conflicts, correction of mistakes by previously, and then outcome of a democratic government, and then we have discussed about democracy and economic growth, and main thing, accommodation of society diversity, and lastly we discussed dignity and freedom of the citizen. Dear students, this is all about your chapter. I think I have cleared all your doubts. Once again, thank you, dear students. Myself, Dr. Ganesh Prasad Behera, founder chairman, UTKAL International School, Chaudhar, Cuttack. Jai Jagannath.